What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back on that afternoon grind, and we blasted John Jones yesterday, even though it's outside our boxing circle, but it is the boxing clinic and more. We could talk about a little bit more things out there. And Luis Nery, the 22-year-old Mexican out of Tijuana, I believe, he knocked out, Yamanaka. That's what I'm gonna call him. I think he's out of Japan. He was a long-reigning, I believe, bantamweight champion. And I seen some highlights of this with most of the fight. Luis Nery ran through him. And this dude from Japan, Yamanaka, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, he was in the pound for pound list, I think, on the Ring TV, at bantamweight. And those little guys be down there throwing down. I'm trying to do more content on it. And unfortunately, one of my content has to be on a guy getting popped for a performance-enhancing drug, Trubaline or something like that. It's used to, beef up cattle in the United States. And that just lets you know right there why a lot of people choose not to eat, meat. They shoot these cattle and these chickens and turkeys up with so many steroids and shit like that it has an effect on the human body long term. And, it is what it is, It makes people sick. That's where cancer comes from. That's where all these mysterious diseases they have that they probably have cures for, but it's a $1 billion industry. But back on the topic of discussion, this guy's a fucking cheat. They're gonna talk about his Plan B sample, but I'm gonna talk about what Mauricio Suleiman Jr. Talked about, man. And if I'm anybody that's supporting the WBC, and if the scenario that the article talks about, which I'm gonna leave in the link, happens, man, I wouldn't want to fuck the WBC no more. That prestige has been lost. I'm gonna talk about it, but he for Trubaline, I think I'll leave in the article so you can look at it. It beefs up. It's similar to another PED that beefs up cattle. They get, I guess, the size advantage, but at bantamweight, does he really need a size advantage though? For what reason? I don't understand. But these drugs, performance enhancing drugs are so upper echelon now, so advanced that he probably can get the strength but not put on the weight now. I know it sounds funny, but he ran through old boy Yamanaka in 4 rounds, man. And a lot of people were surprised. I know a lot of guys, like my boy Antonio, he follows the small weight class and he's starting to get me into that. And it was a funny fight. I think it took place Tuesday, like in the morning or afternoon or something like that in the United States. And he brought the belt back. But Mauricio Suleiman Jr. says that some funny things going on with that specific drug they used to beef it up cattle as well. And he says that he don't want to jump to any conclusions and really put Nery's name in the dirt because he's Mexican, and that's why he don't want to drag him through the mud. But it's cool. I understand, support your own. And he says, most of the United States farmers use that drug in the cattle, and that's where he could have got it from. And that sounds like bullshit. From what I'm understanding is not a large enough of that substance in the animal that can trickle down to the human body. That's what I always was told. But there's no telling what they're doing out there, so that could be a possibility. But it's a chance that the article is saying that even if his Plan B, his B sample was found, dirty as well, tested positive, there's a chance that fight could be turned to a no contest, but he still gets to keep his belt because he's probably fucking Mexican. The WBC is Mexican, and if that happens, that's a travesty, man. If I'm anybody, fighting for the top 15 or fighting for the WBC belt, I walk away from their rankings, man. I don't care. The belt doesn't mean anything anyway. If they letting guys, they implement this vada, drug testing, this random drug testing, they letting people keep their titles and jump the line, basically, and jump the rules, for whatever reason, because they're popular, they're from Mexico, they bring a lot of money in, then what's the fucking plan of doing random drug testing anyway? If this guy gets to keep his belt, I don't care if it's a no contest or not, it's a travesty. He should be suspended, right, wrong, unless he can have probable cause for why it happened and it was a total mistake. He can prove that, which is hard to prove. This dude should be banned for 2 years, period. Minimum 2 years. He's 24 or 22, whatever he is. He got time to bounce back. But for Yamanaka, whatever his name is, to lose his title to a fucking cheating fuck like this, if he knowingly cheated,